Hello viewers, another beautiful day. Hope your five senses work, health and strength is good or excellent. Yep, says here, Intel says you can download more FPS for Lunar Lake. New driver promise up to 10% higher average frame rate, 25% improvement in 99th percentile. Who said you couldn't download free FPS? Says here, last month Intel launches new powered optimized driver for handheld devices, touting performance gain across various titles with the latest ARC graphics driver version 32.0.101.6874. Intel is expanding its optimization to all Core Ultra 200V powered devices across laptop and mini PCs. Since Intel Arc is still in its early stages, many initial launches have improved with age due to subsequent driver improvement. This has been evident with Alchemist. Furthermore, despite BattleMag offering a relatively stronger and more stable performance at launch, it's clear there is still untapped potential as shown by these software-driven improvements. Intel Arc graphics driver 32.0.101.6734 introduces notably low-powered mode optimization for Lunar Lake powered handhelds, specifically the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus. After extensive validation and testing, Intel is expanding the scope of these optimization to all devices, whether laptop or mini PC. First-party metrics suggest a 10% bump in performance across the board in 9 titles with Core Ultra 7 258V at 17 watt, but your mileage will vary. Says here, we will have to verify these claims through independent testing. It's important to note these improvements are specifically for Intel lower-powered ARC 130V and ARC 140V offering, not the desktop BattleMag or ARC B series. The new drivers also address a slew of bugs across various productivity applications and games. A noteworthy detail in the patch notes in the increased memory allocation for integrated ARC GPU across Core Ultra 1, Meteor Lake, and Series 2 Arrow Lake and Lunar Lake product line, now supporting up to 57% compared to the previous 50% cap. Thus, a 16 gig host can allocate 9.12 gigs to the iGPU as opposed to 8 gig previously. And then it says, this isn't the first time Intel has offered performance through software updates, as a previous driver release from last October increased FPS by as much as 24%. This built on the early optimization for the ARC platform, so we'll probably see further, like less pronounced improvements down the road. Most software divisions are likely hard at work preparing the groundwork for the next generation Celestial XC3 graphics, set to be introduced with Panther Lake early next year. Yeah, and I think Video Card's got an article on this too. Let me see what Video Card is talking about. It says here, Intel expands Core Ultra 200V power optimization to more devices with new graphics driver. It says here, release on April the 63734 ARC graphics driver introduced optimization for gaming handhelds powered by Core Ultra 200 series, known as the Lunar Lake. This update is primarily for MSI Claw AI series, which uses this architecture. The response from users was very positive. This update reduced power requirements in various gaming scenarios, resulting in higher frame rates at the same TDP. Many users also noticed fewer artifacts and less rubber banding when running the same games with the newer drivers. According to the changelog from the latest driver, Intel is now expanding these changes to all Core Ultra 200V systems. This means whether you're gaming on a handheld or a laptop powered by Lunar Lake, you should see improvement frame rates or fewer issues while maintaining the same power level. And then it says Intel Core Ultra Series 2 with built-in Intel Arc GPUs, power management optimization previously introduced in the 32.0.101.6734 for handhelds. Gaming devices now available for all Intel cores. It says Ultra 200V series, codenamed Lunar device, delivering improved performance and frame pacing with lower modes. And then it says Intel claims these optimization can yield up to 10% higher average FPS and a 25 increase in 99th percentile FPS compared to the older 6732 driver. This data is based on a Core Ultra 7258 with ARC 140 graphics running in 17-watt TDP mode at 1080p on medium settings. Let us know if these optimizations are working on your device, and more importantly, if you're seeing any FPS improvements. And that's the end of both articles. And what they got, 23 comments here on video cards, and then on Tom's Hardware we're talking I think I saw 3 earlier. No, zero comments. So yeah, but this is for these the Claw series, the 8 AI and 7 AI series. So this should be good news for you Intel fans. And then on the chart, let's see what they got here. If I can up this a little bit. Oops, don't get that out of there. Let's see, on the chart. Nope. On the chart, we got Black Myth Wukong went from 36 to 41. God of War went from 43 to 46. Hogwarts Legacy went from 44 to 47. Cyberpunk went from 49 to 52. Marvel Spider-Man Remaster went from 58 to 62. Payday 3 went from 79 to 89. Dota 2 went from 81 to 94, and Counter-Strike 2 went from 87 to 94, and then Fortnite went from 89 to 105. And in the blue, it's average FPS, and then in the purple, it's average FPS. And so, yeah, those are the charts. That's what's on the chart right now. So, you Intel fans on your handhelds, that was for you. So that should help you out for now. So, yeah, another big update for you Intel fans, and that should do it. So, hope this was helpful to you. Let's see, on video cards, they got some comments. Someone says, not bad at all. Hope they keep at it and catch up to AMD and Nvidia. It would be amazing to have a true 3-horse race in the GPU again, like the good old days in the 90s, where the market was full of choices. Fingers crossed. Then Vinny said, what do you mean catch up with AMD and Nvidia? No name competing APU that is better than Lunar Lake at the moment with less than 20 TDP in the discrete GPU space. Oh yeah. And then Sigaflop said this: considering Intel using the 3 nanometer mode, I would expect it to win at the lower wattage. That's just physics. It was obvious by my comment. I was talking about discrete GPUs, but don't let that put you off. Anyway, and then Pat said this: it would be completely demoralizing to be an Intel engineer working so hard on a product and nobody cares about it. They must all dream of working at AMD and Nvidia. And then Luker said this: don't you need 32 watt with AMD to compete with the 17 watt Intel? This is a huge difference in a mobile device. And then Pat said this: AMD's CPU is more performant and used for tasks beyond posting on Instagram and Facebook. And then Luker said this: also Intel is better at those pull-bane tasks as well, because you can do it just as fast but longer because of better battery life. And then Storm said this: sadly, Intel, with their minor refresh upgrades, have eroded their reputation with their latest and greatest desktop CPU, falling way short on the competing with AMD, and actually losing out to multiple previous gens of their own. It says here, well, no one cares. Couple with its handheld / mini laptop perf, no one actually cares that much about that either. If Intel can beat the 98X 3D and trade blows with AMD next gen, along with using the same power as them or less, then they are pretty much done for. At least when AMD was able to compete, they were cheap. Intel cannot compete now in gaming, except they are more expensive than AMD still. Intel would have done better with giving hefty reduction on their latest flops CPU just to get market shares and customers' loyalty back. We're not in a world where people buy Packard Bells and Dell and HP, etc. PC, who just always go with Intel. They need to appeal to the market better when their slower and more expensive CPU are looked at. It's not for long. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. And then who is this? Perna said this: 265K, $300, 14,700K, 250. WDYM, more expensive blood. Cheapest 8-core next-gen AMD CPU is 500, which is insanely high. And then Hammy said corporate PC and laptop do not agree. And then Storm said this: that's because corporate PC and laptop have always been Intel. And then Edred said this: Intel Lunar Lake is much better choice for handheld gaming as of now. You need to pump too much of power for AMD mobile processors to beat Lunar Lake with the low power gaming performance battery life. Lunar Lake is slaughtering AMD and Qualcomm right now. Lunar Lake doesn't take enough credit for what it offers. And then Lucas said, very nice. Most users don't have the ambition or knowledge to do this themselves. And then Storm says this: what update driver? And then Lucas says, no limit the max CPU clocks on iGPU limit gaming. You can probably drop the CPU clock to about 2 gigahertz before the chip becomes CPU bottleneck, and give the iGPU 5 more of the 17 watt power budget. This can be done on custom power plans for real-time power allocation, but since you had no clue as to what I was talking about, I am guessing you're on the same boat as most users. And then Full said this: believe it or not, yes, people barely update their drivers, let alone Windows update had it not been automatic. And then Storm said this: the driver update automatically tells you there's an update. Download and install them for you. Stop chatting other and then who is this? Full Jack said this: you underestimate people's ignorance. If it doesn't set to automatic update, it won't update. Simple as. And then Bree said this: just like most people barely maintain their homes and tools and vehicles. It's a good point. But yeah, but this was pretty good for Intel though. And what they're saying in the comment is some of it is true too, about Intel and pricing, and then people not updating their compute, their devices. No, yeah. The last comment said it in a nutshell. Just like people barely maintain their homes, tools, and vehicles. Yeah, that is true, which is true in today's world. So a lot of people don't update their computers. That's why they don't know what's really happening. They don't set the updates to automatic. Let them know that the update is coming in. But Intel is trying to keep up with AMD and Intel, so good for them on their part. But this update though is for the Claw 8 AI, for the 7 AI handheld. So this should help you guys you Intel fans for now. Anyway, so good for Intel though. Good for them. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Nice talking to you people again. Crystal Star Trek 4.